kicking off already. So Megan, tell us when we're live.
Yeah, we're in 10 seconds. Are you ready?
Yeah.
So, yeah. You get to, I like the glasses bit, too.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Hello, hello. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are live here at the Dallas International Film Festival.
The 13th annual
The 13th annual, can't forget that.
Dallas International Film Festival here in West Village.
Yep. I'm Danielle. I will be your host for the evening. This is Brandon. And this is Chris. Can you guys introduce yourselves?
Go for it, Chris.
Hi, Chris Cruz. I'm what you guys call for the press corps. So you should be hating me right now because I'm going to ask you the tough questions of what is this Dallas International Festival. So I don't know, but I'm from Blaze Media producer. Been doing it for 3 years now, and this is my 3rd year actually covering this event with you guys.
That's awesome. Thanks so much for being here. Really appreciate it. So I'm Brandon Jones. I'm on the board of Dallas Film, and I'm also the head of the marketing committee that puts on the Dallas International Film Festival. So we developed this. This is our red carpet lounge. There's a red carpet going on right down here to our right.
Yeah, we're going to ask that you guys throw over to over there because the media and the press are, I think we've got some videographers, we've got some photographers, I think talent's starting to arrive, things are kicking off. We're going to be here all evening covering both our little lounge area as well as the red carpet down there. So it should be a really fun night.
Yeah, we are. Are you you're on Facebook?
I am on Facebook.
We should have you go to your Facebook and share our live stream.
Yes,
like you should do that now.
I'm going to do that right now.
Yeah,
if you pour me a drink, I will do that.
So part of the fun here is that the lounge. This is our lounge. So we're outside West Village, South Alley. Right behind us is the South Alley music stage, and we've got great wine from Casaro Wine. So I'm going to pour you a glass of the Pinot Noir.
We also have beers for our guests from Four Corners Brewery, which they're also right behind. They've got a tent here. They're going to be here the whole festival. Giving all of our festival goers some tasty refreshments.
Oh, I'm drinking the El Grito lager.
Ooh.
So what is the flavor profile on that one?
This is a lager, so it's like a good drinking beer, you know, and great for the festival, for the long run. Light enough but great tasting. And I think this is their newer one.
Yeah.
And so Four Corners, 2nd year back at the film festival as a sponsor. They've got a great tent over here. They're going to be sampling products. They've got some musicians out there. Oh my gosh, we have people on the red carpet too. So
yeah, I don't see us on Facebook though.
Well, we'll have to figure that out.
We will have to figure that out because I'm looking for it right now. Because don't you worry, we're going to have everybody share our live.
I saw it on the website, so it's there.
Yeah, it's on our website too.
I saw that part.
It is absolutely on our website.
Yeah. I may have to do some sideline producing here.
We may have to do a little troubleshooting with that, but we will get it up. And I'm actually going to have my phone out because my dogs are, they're about to be checked on by the dog walker, so I have to let them in the building. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, so this is all happening in real time here.
Well, isn't that what media is right there?
Yeah.
We're going to get any better coverage of this year's red carpet than like this. You got your glass of wine.
Cheers.
Yes.
Speaking of the dog walker, here we go.
Oh, dog walker, let her in.
Cheers. Cheers, everybody.
Let's have a great festival.
Cheers.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Oh my gosh, look at that. Daniel Labs.
Come join us. Here, come sit right here with me. Yes, we're live. So that's the camera where people can see you. This one is on the whole lounge.
So if our producers can hear us, I don't see us on our Facebook page.
If you need help from the social media person, you just let me know.
You just let us know.
I'm available.
And so your interview will be right there?
Yes, I'm the current primary subject.
Oh, we're on Facebook now? We are good. We're supposedly... Oh, we're still working on it, but it's going to be good. It's going to go up. Awesome.
I will not share it yet, I guess.
Yeah, we'll wait. We'll wait till we get the go that it's up. So, Daniel, you're one of our programmers here.
Yes.
Do you want to tell us...
Little windy.
Windy. The camera just got knocked, but we're all good. We may have to move that a little bit if the wind picks up.
I might. You guys keep going.
He's going to step out. Chris, come on over here. We're going to keep talking about films.
Yep.
So, Daniel, you've programmed a lot of our films. How many films did you watch prior to programming the festival?
I didn't count this year.
Could you give it a guesstimate?
I'd say like usually I'll, James and I will watch between 250 to 350. It just depends on.
That's you guys individually, plus the whole programming team.
And then we have a committee of about 20 people that work with us to watch films as well. And so then we all, James and I watch stuff along with the committee, and then we'll also find stuff and watch stuff on our own. And I think I have to include like the stuff that I travel around the world to see as well. But James does that as well. So that's kind of how it gets to be that high of a number. It takes about 6 months to watch.
So hundreds of films. Hundreds of films to get the curated program that we have over the next 8 days. Can you tell us some of the stuff that you're really excited about?
Well, I'm always really excited about the films that, that make my heart race a little bit, that like touch me, that I find myself having an unexpected connection with.
Yeah.
One of those films is the disappearance of my mother.
So I went to the night where you gave us a sneak peek of some things. This film looks heartbreaking, but so interesting and so enthralling yet at the same time.
Yeah, it starts off in It's a Little Bit Grey Gardens, and then about halfway through, you are on a deep dive into the history of feminist politics in Italy, the history of fashion in New York, in Europe. It's just all over the map, and it's one of those films that you're touching on all these different subcultures and ideas, and yet they all come together with this one central character, who just happens to be the filmmaker's mother, who, just like, we as an audience are trying to connect with her, so is he. And so our paths as an audience and the filmmaker align in the course of this movie. And once we finally do make those connections towards the end of the movie, I don't know. I think audiences will be really moved in the same way that I was.
You've done an amazing job.
Yeah.
Daniel is, a work machine. Late nights, no sleep, especially the last 4 weeks is like full throttle all the time. In the office late, early, nonstop, and a fun guy to be around and work with. So we applaud you.
I just roll around all the time and just have a great time. I'm a roller. I like to
not going with the flow necessarily, rolling on the floor physically.
Yeah, just I like to tumble.
So you're a good tumbler.
I date a gymnast, so we can't really help ourselves.
Okay, so we have the Stan Smith's Adidas sneakers on.
Are we talking about shoes in this one?
Yes, why not?
I'm a shoe
Well,
nerd.
we just were talking about
And
fashion.
you have the Adidas hat.
New York fashion.
So
here we go.
Are your sneaker preference is Adidas?
No.
Your sneaker preference is Nike?
Just kidding.
Just making sure. You should be
I can't
sponsored
tell
by
right
them.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
hey,
You should be the
Adidas.
first film.
Hey, Adidas.
You should be the first festival programmer sponsored by Adidas. Shout out. Let's tag them and see if we can get you a deal.
Adidas. Yeah.
I love this.
So I want to go back to the film you were talking about for a second, because I think the art of filmmaking is such a diverse thing, because there's no two filmmakers who make films the same way. Technically, you have a lot of the same equipment, but something that struck me that you said about this film was that the filmmaker actually shot footage of his mother the whole time he was growing up.
Yes.
So even when he was a kid, he would grab a handheld and
so this is footage of his real life.
So there's actual footage of his mother as he's growing up, and this is kind of like the final product of basically his entire lifetime of following his mother.
And
which
she's in the process of
fascinating.
retiring. So retiring for her means no more cameras, no more public life. Completely living out kind of in the sticks where there's no cell phone reception. Okay, the sticks in Italy might be an island.
I was
with
just
cell phone
thinking that.
reception. Although the last time I went to Italy, I had no
much
cell phone
different than sticks
reception
in
the whole
Texas.
time. The whole time. I couldn't get a signal the whole time. And
Did you need one?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Really?
I don't want to. I don't want to.
Like, give me a bottle of wine and I'm
under
good.
The bus because we may need them as a sponsor. So.
Actually, I don't care. We don't need Verizon.
No, we do need Verizon.
I'm a huge fan of Sprint.
And AT&T being here in Dallas.
Yep.
Shout out
AT&T.
to AT&T.
Yeah. Whoop whoop.
Would love for AT&T to be a sponsor if you're listening.
Wouldn't that be amazing?
Yeah. I'm so glad I'm not directly mic'd.
They can hear you.
They can hear you on my
getting
mic.
I'm literally getting text messages from people. Oh, audio's good now. So
Great.
But okay, so you watch all these movies.
Yeah.
So if I'm a content creator, I'm not a filmmaker.
Yeah.
But if I'm like someone that is like watching right now,
Yeah.
how can I get you to watch my movie?
Oh.
So there's a couple ways that filmmakers can go about sending us films. I would say, getting into a festival that we track, we'll get a film on our radar, putting a film into a market that we attend, or a pitch meeting setup. I go to IFP every year. James goes to Toronto. So like Sundance. This year I went to Rotterdam and Berlin as well. So
and you loved that festival, didn't you?
I loved Rotterdam, absolutely.
That was great.
So what you're saying is we shouldn't release your personal email address and contact information just in case somebody wants to send a film in.
No, I mean the best way for a new filmmaker or a young filmmaker to submit is to send us your film via Film Freeway, and then we have a drone up
There's
there,
a
guys.
drone!
we have a drone going on.
We should just
I'm
point the
loving
camera
it.
up and just
Yeah.
zoom in slow on the drone.
So, yes. I'm sorry, we totally just.
But, yeah.
Like, this is going to be the most ADD, like, portion of.
What we just happened is flying colors. What is that?
A drone? We were telling you how to submit your film.
and
Shall
from
we
there,
sit?
Somebody's making a film.
From there, you have to be your own advocate as a submitter. I encourage, filmmakers to, if it's you, I encourage you to come up with a way to send an email that brings the film to our attention, to our submissions email, which is submissions@dallasfilm.org. And we get emails from filmmakers all the time, all year round, telling us about their film. It's a great way to do an elevator pitch via email. And you don't want your email to be too long. You don't want to demand us to do anything.
Wait, if I tell you better watch my movie, you're not gonna watch
You
it?
need somebody will watch it. If you pay to submit, we'll definitely our committee will watch it. But it's like that's an opportunity to say, I know you're busy. Thank you so much for your time. Would you please take a look at my screener? This is what it's about. We submitted. Here's the tracking number. I get so many of those emails, and I'll tell you, a lot of those emails end up helping that film get into the festival. So just like going to IFP or going to any film festival, when you hand somebody your postcard for your film, you're always kind of pitching in this industry, and I think filmmakers are some of the best pitchers I've ever met in my entire life.
What's your favorite part about DIF?
My favorite part about Dallas International Film Festival was, it's a very personal relationship for me with this festival. It was the very first acceptance letter one of my films ever got.
Mine too, by the way.
And
I've been rejected quite a few times before that.
it was a really heartening moment. It was my final film when I was at UTA, and we were getting rejected from everyone, and then we got this really nice acceptance letter from the Dallas. It was at the time AFI Dallas.
Yep. What year was that?
It was 2009.
Okay.
And I had no clue what was about to happen. Like, we spent 10 days attending parties, walking the red carpet. We met Adrian Brody and pitched a film to Adrian Brody, and his bodyguards swiftly pulled him away. And it was just a whirlwind experience, and first press junket I was ever on. Like, I fell in love with the festival right then and there.
Yeah.
And if I didn't work here, I would be still submitting my films to this festival.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the festival? Just like how many countries are represented? How many films are we going to be showing? Like, I'd love for audiences to be able to just hear a little bit more about the festival itself.
So collectively, we're showing just a few over 160 films at the festival, including education shorts, competition features and shorts, then also the out of competition section, which is our premiere sections, Latino Showcase. And all of these films comprise a program that has over 27 countries represented at the festival this year. And it's 65 films this year that we consider to be international films. So
Wow.
Amazing.
it's across the entire program. It's one of our most international lineups that we've ever had.
Wow,
That
that's
is very
incredible.
cool. And we have how many filmmakers that are in attendance?
98 filmmakers in attendance this week. So
So if you are interested in the film industry and like learning more about film itself, like this is the perfect place to be in the next 8 days.
yeah, and if you want to meet lots of filmmakers, I highly recommend going to Shorts Blocks, because at Shorts Blocks we have multiple filmmakers that come up for the Q&As after the screening, and they hang out in the lobby long afterwards, and you can just chill, talk to the filmmakers. You know, if you have a festival pass, you can join them in the lounge and just have
Yeah.
a drink or two. It's a great opportunity to meet filmmakers.
So I
and
think
get
we're on this
really
camera
immersed.
now. I think we may have switched us over to this camera.
So I just want to.
Let's talk about some of the shorts.
Well, okay.
Yeah,
shorts are
first,
good.
let's go through the shorts. So I have to say, I will not say which festival it was, but I went to a film festival recently, and I love animated shorts. It's just one of those things that I have such a good time watching, always a fan of. And I was so disappointed in the quality of the shorts that were there.
What?
There were over 5,000 shorts that were presented, and I was like, I know there's so much better than this. And so I want to talk about what kind of shorts we have here this time, because I know these shorts are great.
Well, I'm happy to talk about our animated shorts this year. So our animated shorts film block, I would categorize as being a mature block. It's not necessarily children's films. A lot of times you see animated films and the first thing you think is Saturday morning cartoons, or that's what I watched when I was a kid, or Looney Tunes. The
It's
short
not.
films that play before features, you know, when you go to see films, throughout history. And our films tend to be the types of films that we are pulling from all sorts of different corners of the festival landscape, but also from our submissions. There's a lot of international films. There's a lot of art films in our animated shorts. There's also some really funny comedy shorts in there, but it's a very diverse group. I tend to try to, when it comes to like shorts blocks, I tend to try
Get a
to
little taste of everything.
I try to like see how far I can stretch things and can I get away with a tonal shift like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know? Or if I make the audience watch something that is potentially harrowing or like a kind of a horror, leaning towards horror type
Bring
film.
it back up after.
Like what is going to massage their mood back into like, okay, I'm calm, so I'm not,
Yeah.
So every film kind of has their purpose and has their place in the block. And, it's not a random ordering, it's a specific ordering at every screen.
Yeah.
So speaking of filmmakers, tonight we should have Matthias
Matthias Parisi
and Bibi
Brazil.
Araya.
Yes, who's from Austin.
Yeah, and so they're both going to be here walking the red carpet. They're going to come. They have shorts in the narrative block tonight. So we should be talking to them here within the next hour or so. But then also, just this weekend, I just want to go through a couple films that are going to have filmmakers in attendance. Building the American Dream.
Yes.
These
Which
are all
is alumni of the festival, by the way. Chelsea
interesting.
Hernandez won a special jury prize last year in our shorts competition. So we're really
And now
excited that
she's
she's
back
back
with,
with a new film.
So the films on Friday, Building the American Dream, documentary shorts, like you said, Daniel, and then Before You Know It, which is tomorrow night, there's a world premiere of Hurdle, filmmakers in attendance.
Okay, can we talk about Hurdle? Because
We can.
this is such a unique film, and I think we need to talk about it and tell audiences about it. Are there tickets left for it?
There are still a handful of tickets left for Hurdle. They're going very quickly.
And I have to say on that note, like, go reserve on Atom Tickets. Like, if you have your tickets or you have your pass, go reserve your seats on Atom Tickets, because we are selling out very, very quickly.
Yeah, you don't want to be caught in a situation where you're stuck waiting in the rush line and hoping that there's a seat left over.
Yeah.
But at the same time, sometimes that rush line can be a mixed bag of blessings. You might not get into the film you set out to get into, but you'll get into something else. And that could be a really fun experience as well.
Yeah.
Just seeing something, going into a screening totally blind. But you want to talk about Hurdles.
Yes,
Hurdle.
let's go back to Hurdle. I just had to mention that so that if you guys are waiting, and we've got a new partnership with Atom Tickets where you can go and reserve your seats so that you don't have to worry about getting here super early, waiting in line, but you do need to reserve your seats to make sure you actually can get one.
Yeah.
Hurdle.
Yeah, so Hurdle is directed by a local director named Michael Rowley, who's been traveling back and forth between the United States
Testing music. Woo!
We will check to see how that's affecting audio here.
We can maybe get that turned off.
So Hurdle's directed by a local director. His name is Michael Rowley. He's been traveling back and forth between Dallas, New York, and Israel to tell the story about a troupe of parkour athletes that live in
Palestine, right?
They live in the states of Palestine around Jerusalem.
That are under severe military rule and direction. So, and these guys are set out to do a really artistic and creative thing with their performances. I mean, they're athletic. I mean, they run.
And it's like
it's very parkour-esque in a lot of ways in what they're doing.
Parkour-esque is a very good word.
That is a very good word.
Well, it's like parkour is like gymnastics, but it's out of the kind of formal competition. It's gymnastics that's through your environment. And the whole art of parkour is to move through your environment without the normal impediments. So if there's a wall in front of you, you find a way to hop and over the wall.
Hurdle it.
Hurdle the wall. But you can't go over some walls. But in this way, they're able to look at their surroundings and their immediate surroundings and turn that surrounding into forms of movement and expression that gives them and the people around them inspiration that they can overcome the obstacles in front of them.
Yeah. It's very cool. So that world premiere is tomorrow at 7:30.
Yes.
And then we have another filmmaker in town, the group from J.R. Bob Dobbs and the Church of the Subgenius.
We got to talk about this film for a minute because there's so many names in the film, in the documentary, that you will recognize and you know, but this story is not one that a lot of people have heard of or think of necessarily.
Well, I feel like if you've ever found yourself like lost in a half-price books in the comedy section,
you might find it there.
I think you've probably encountered the Church of the Subgenius's publications, or if you've ever gone to like a small bookstore and met the owner, they were probably involved with the Church of the Subgenius. I mean, you
I feel like this is like a punchline in your new stand-up.
It's like as you're and after I was like done like watching the film, I was going back through all the people I had met in my life, and I'm like, I wonder if they were secretly part of the Church of the Subgenius. And it's not shocking when this film comes up in conversation where they're like, oh, I've been following that for a long time. And you're like, yes, I know. That does not shock me in any way.
No.
That makes total sense.
Yeah, Bart Weiss from the Dallas Video Fest, so they're our community partner for that screening, and he'll be out to host the Q&A. Bart was telling me that they had actually shown some of the films that had been made by the Church of the Subgenius back in the day. As many of you know, the Video Fest has been around since the late 80s. And so also they've shown some documentaries about them that were made during the time that the church was very, very active. They're still around.
Yeah.
But now we've got this like kind of like the Beatles anthology documentary version of it, where it's just like the entire career from the beginning all the way to today, and it's really, really, really cool to see like all these guys much, much older and still just giddy with delight at all the crazy crap that they pulled off. I managed to say that without cussing. I'm really proud of it.
Well, you can cuss. We're just live streaming. So Saturday, if you want to meet filmmakers, animated shorts, documentary shorts, Seadrift, Premature, This World Won't Break, which is by local filmmakers, local radio talent. George Dunham is in it. Lots of local musicians. I believe it took the filmmaker 4 years to make this movie, raising money, shooting, finishing funds, and I believe that is completely sold out. But stay tuned. You know, that is a great film, and then Ms. Purple, and so all these will have filmmakers.
The other thing about sold out screenings is there is the rush line.
Yep.
So sometimes seats do open up, like one or two seats open up at the last minute, and you might be able to find your way into the theater if you show up to the screening. I mean, don't bring a group of 20 because maybe one of you will get in, but it's.
Hope is still there.
You're the type that likes to gamble.
Hope is there.
Don't
Hope is still there.
You might get in.
But it's funny you say that because that movie took about 4 years.
Yes.
And that's one thing that I did not know until I started getting involved with you guys, is that movies like this that get featured on festivals they're not your Marvel. They're not your
No,
that
they don't have like an
billions
empty
of dollars.
check.
Exactly. These guys
Go
are
make a
raising
movie.
their own money,
Yeah.
crowdfunding.
And I believe he funded this movie himself. you
Wow.
know, so he raised the money, he funded it, so he worked and he would keep funding real passion projects. So and there's
Yeah.
you know, it's about country music and this
It's about being
singer
a Texan.
yeah, singer-songwriter.
What else?
Fun
Yeah.
fact, when I was in college, I did we had a film called Saronia come through and shoot in Waco. And I was like a production volunteer, so I did my first overnight filming on a production set. And one of the guys who was in this film, he was my supervisor.
Who was that?
Mike Gonzalez. He was my supervisor
What does
during
he do
that
in
night
this
shoot.
film?
I think he just plays a smaller role.
Yeah.
But
Look
I
at
saw
that,
him and I
from
was like,
supervisor.
I know you.
From supervisor to a role.
Right?
Yeah,
There you
guys,
go.
I hate to walk away, but I'm gonna have to step away because I'm being
Yes.
called into official duty of
Official
the DIF
film festival duties.
programmer
Yes.
duty
Yeah.
landscape. So,
Well, thank you
Well,
for
thank
joining
you.
us.
Thank you for coming by.
and I could probably come back later if you guys find me, but
We'll be here.
I might send over one of my other programmer colleagues if you guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah, please do.
Bring everybody on. So.
Yeah, please
It was
do.
great to talk to you, Daniel. See you.
Bye.
See ya.
Nice meeting you.
Daniel Labs, everybody.
Yeah, so that was Daniel. He's one of our senior programmers here. He's responsible for a lot of the amazing content that you're going to see this week and the next 8 days with DIF. Now, we talked about, just for a hot second, and we kind of like got to a new topic, which is kind of what we're going to be doing all night. We talked about independent filmmaking, which I think we should talk about it a little bit more, because something that I love about festivals is the spirit of independent film. It's much different than what you see when you go to a movie theater. Not in that it's not a movie, but in that it takes a lot longer to make these films. And it takes a lot more hard work and basically like kind of paving your own way to get some of these films from just creative ideas to become a reality when they're
Yeah, and
done.
then like he said, it's like your passion project.
Yeah.
So this is for me when I started, getting involved with you guys. I was looking at it and I saw the dedication on the filmmakers. Because for me, I'm a content creator, but my content is 2 to 3 minutes of me being on the street asking people questions, and I'm like, whew, that was a long day. Well, a movie like the one that took 4 years,
Yeah.
that shows dedication. I would have given up a long time ago because I don't have the patience to wait there 4 years
Yeah.
to wait for my movie to be made. That for me takes a
That's
lot.
the perseverance right
yes,
there.
and then come to show that it's sold out. What a joy of having
Yes.
a movie being sold out that I worked 4 years, use my money, use my sweat, my tears, my
Yeah.
blood. Like, that is fascinating.
And a lot of these films are able to address social, economic issues that aren't necessarily mainstream. So studios aren't looking to produce them because they're not going to make as much money at the box office.
And they don't
But-
want to take those chances.
And they don't want to take the risk. And so they're socially and economically relevant. And they're really interesting, very viable films that you just don't get the opportunity to really engage with in a movie theater half the time. So it's always exciting to have a festival like DIF where you can.
Absolutely.
Right?
So my first film that I produced was in this festival when it was the AFI, Dallas AFI, 10 years ago. So
Wow.
And actually my co-producing partner, the guy who wrote and directed it and also produced it with me, has a short film in this year's festival.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so we're gonna have like a little mini reunion tomorrow or Saturday.
Don't play favorites.
Oh no.
Do not play.
Absolutely not. So they're going to join us, and just to let everybody know, so we're going to be doing this every night. There's a red carpet, so there's 6 red carpets throughout the week, and we will be here because we're going to, as the talent and filmmakers come off the red carpet, we're going to bring them
plop
over.
down right here.
So we'll be here. This is not just tonight only, 5:30 to 7. We'll be here tomorrow night, Saturday, Sunday. I think we're taking Monday off. We'll be here Tuesday and Thursday. So this is a really cool opportunity. We're live streaming off our website. We encourage everybody who's watching to please share it with their friends, and bringing DIF to life. So.
And sorry, I'm having to dogs.
Oh, dog! This is dog mode.
Dog walker, dog mode.
Is this
I know
right?
we are live, but I'm like, I gotta let the dog walker in the building, right?
Yeah, you have to.
Well,
You
yeah.
have to.
You have to let the dog walk
yeah.
in. And so we're going to be bringing some talent in. So every night, so the Dallas International Film Festival, it opens tonight, and it will be going the next 8 days through next Thursday night. We'll be here at West Village at the Magnolia Theater. We'll be at Studio Movie Grill over on Royal Lane for those of you in Dallas. Go to DallasIFF.org to look at the film schedule, read about the films, and purchase your tickets. And a big shout out to our ticketing partner and platform, Atom Tickets. So we are the first film festival to use Atom Tickets digital ticketing platform.
Yeah, so this is
100%
cool.
reserved seating.
This is so cool.
Yeah, because I think for the hurdle one, that's what I'm going to.
Yeah.
My seat is J9, so do not take my seat.
Yeah, so typically in film festivals, what you have to do is you'll get your pass and then you go wait in the line, or you get a queue card. Somebody hands you like a line queue, and you literally just stand there and you wait for like an hour or an hour and a half. Well, thanks to our partners over at Atom Tickets, you don't have to do that anymore.
No, you can go enjoy all the bars and restaurants around here, have dinner, have drinks, here at Crew, Mi Cocina, Taco Diner, anywhere here around West Village, and then, my movie starts at
7:30.
It's time to go.
Yeah, or you could you could get your pass and be at home on your sofa and like book your tickets to come to the festival.
And you know where
and then
you're
you're
seating.
relaxed. You just show up and you fest.
You're
right?
fest.
Yeah.
You fest.
So that is really cool. And
Yeah.
we'll see if our partners from Atom Tickets who are here, they flew
They're
in.
wandering here somewhere.
Great guys, great partners. And
Uh-huh.
I really think that this is kind of a next evolution of how to attend a film festival.
Yeah.
That, you know, reserved seating 8-9 years
It's
ago
huge.
was a big deal, like when movie theaters went to reserved seating, and now it's like commonplace. So
Hey, I don't go to movie theaters if they don't have reserved seating.
Right?
Right.
Because you don't
It's like,
have to
why
wait
do
in
you want-
line. You
and
don't
not
have to
just
fight for
that,
a
it's
seat.
like fighting for a seat. If I'm bringing a party of 4, am I going to be divided?
Can you imagine Avengers Endgame without reserved seating?
oh man.
Yes.
In today's day and age, no way.
No, you can't.
There's no
and
way.
even though you have reserved seating that's for
Yeah.
that movie, you're still gonna have to wait. So it's like, thank you for reserved seating.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
so this is a big deal, and you know,
And again, I want to reiterate, like, this is the first festival that's ever done
That's
this.
awesome.
Yeah.
So it's a very new thing in the festival world. We're blazing that trail.
blazing that trail. We are very grateful. So, and you download the app. Literally, go to your phone. I actually have my tickets up right here.
Mm-hmm.
You go to your phone, you download the Atom Tickets app, and you look for Diff Magnolia or Diff SMG. It'll list all the programs. Purchase your ticket, add them to your wallet. You show up, digital ticket in your wallet. You go right in. You have your seat ready to go. No
waiting.
No way.
No
Like, how
hustle.
much? So we were at a film festival a month ago and saw a couple of films and spent half the time waiting in line.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
it was hours.
Half the time.
Hours. And at one point we were standing in line and I was looking across the street and there was a bunch of people in this beautiful patio having a beer, a glass of wine.
And you wanted to be over there.
I was like, I just want a glass of wine or like a cocktail. I would be sitting there relaxing. Instead, I was leaning up against a concrete wall.
Yeah.
My feet
Waiting.
were hurting really bad because I've been waiting for the last hour to go in and see, a couple hours worth of shorts.
Yeah. So if you're going to attend the festival, go to DallasIFF.org, or you can just go to the App Store or Google Play, download Atom Tickets on your phone. And then, by the way, once you have Atom Tickets on your phone, then you can use Atom Tickets to purchase your tickets for the rest of the year for all the
Yep,
great movies
'cause
that
it
are
works
coming
everywhere.
out. Yeah. And we really appreciate these guys. They spend a lot of time in development to get this right. So both pass holders have VIP sections, and then there's general public, and it was not a simple thing, and we've been working on this. They were actually, a funny story, they were a sponsor last year, Atom Tickets was, and they came down and they sponsored the last day of the festival, and then we've been talking all year and said, hey, why don't we do reserved ticketing to the festival? And of course, like any film festival, we kind of waited till the last minute.
Yeah.
And then 3 months away from the festival, we're like, oh yeah, weren't we
Let's
going
do
to do
that.
this? And we're like, oh yeah. And they're like, the festival's when?
Kudos to them though because they turned it around. They
man.
developed the tech for it and everything. We're like, sure, we got you. This
Yeah.
is cool.
And they're here, and I don't know where they are, but they're going to
They're
come.
down there somewhere.
They're
Hi.
down there somewhere. Yeah. So that's where we are.
I see a couple people on the carpet. So I see Jonathan Brownlee, who's our president. He's over there I'm like trying to peek over to see. We also have Justina Walford. She's from Studio Movie Grill, who is one of our partners tonight. Some of the screenings, they're going to be taking place here at the Magnolia as well as Studio Movie Grill. So kind of going back and forth there between those two theaters. I see that they're on the carpet, but once they make their way down that carpet and are done, then we will have them coming back to us this way, which will be great.
Yeah, so tonight is opening night.
Lots of parties.
Lots of parties.
Lots of parties.
Everything
Lots of great
here-
That's the only
sponsors.
reason why you come to the festivals.
Oh,
Hey,
The after
festival
parties.
goers
The
know how to
after
party.
parties
The after parties are the ones that
know how to
Yes.
party.
Yes.
Can I get a high five on that,
Yes.
please?
Yes, high five
Yes,
on
high
that.
fives on
Yes.
that.
So this
Same.
stage right behind us, every night of the festival, we're going to have live music right here in South Alley
Yep.
in West Village. So you get films, live music. Tonight, tonight's musician is Castro, the band Castro.
Oh.
He was on American Idol,
He was
wasn't
on
he?
American Idol, and he's from Dallas, Jason
Yeah.
Castro. So the city of Dallas commissioned him to write a song about the city of Dallas, and it's like he is really like
He's got some roots here for
he
sure.
does.
Yeah.
So he's a great musician. Maureen Womack, who is in charge of all the bands and everything, she curated the stage every night. She did a great job. And so, it's the Dallas International Film Festival, but we've incorporated music, but not just to have people on stage. We curated the music to go along with the films. So tonight, kickoff, this is where the party is. The opening night film is called Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil, and Vile.
Huh.
Welcome to that movie.
Right?
Talk about, so this film is going to be running on Netflix,
Yes.
but I want to talk about bridging that gap between the movie-going experience and Netflix.
Uh-oh. You don't like that?
No, I think there's a way. I think there's a bridge.
Oh.
I think there's an olive branch on the other side. And I can't wait to bridge streaming with the movie theater experience where we can exist in harmony and partnership.
My goal for that is I could just watch a movie from the house. You could charge me the same ticket price. that I'm
No,
doing-
but it's
you
not the
could just-
same. It's not the
Not
same
the
as seeing a
same.
movie
It's
in the
not the
theaters.
same?
No, it's not.
I love
Because-
the movie theater experience. The
Really?
communal
Now-
experience.
What is the experience that you're looking for, though?
Just to be able to share that with everyone. So, I'm going to give you a couple of examples. Pet Cemetery, just
Okay.
recently saw that at the world premiere. And we were actually sitting there, and afterwards you just shared this experience with everybody. You laughed, you cried, you were scared. Like, it builds a connection that you can't get when you're watching that movie at home by yourself.
Yeah.
What if I add VR?
It's not the same.
It's not the same.
It's
Still not the same.
It's
We're all
still not the
connected,
same.
kind of like the Matrix.
No, because
it's still not the same.
Because it's about
It's like that human interaction.
Yeah.
It's like the feeling you get
that
next
communal
to somebody.
touch of people crave community.
Okay.
People crave engagement and interactivity, and I think Netflix is awesome. I love Netflix. I watch it all the time.
Don't go Helen Mirren on us.
I know. I just check out the Hollywood Reporter if you want to know what he's talking about, and type in Helen Mirren CinemaCon. But I think it has its place. Like, I just finished watching Sabrina because I love
Yes.
Sabrina on Netflix.
Yep.
Such a good
And
show.
part 2 just got
Part
released.
2, just
Yep.
binge watched it.
Yep.
Love it. But I think that there's something magical about sitting in a movie theater and with a whole room full of strangers all having the same experience together and creating a community, even if it's just for 2.5 hours.
Or 3 like
Or
Avengers.
3 like
Yeah.
Avengers. Creating a
I'm not
community.
going to tell you how long this world won't break is.
Creating a community where you're connected for just that period of time. You're not alone. You're sharing something with a total stranger. There's nothing like it.
The ability to share art, movie theaters are empathy machines. That's really what they are.
Yeah.
To bring people of all different parts of life and
Culture.
phases of life and
Culture.
culture.
Well, you guys doing it here. You
Yeah,
bring in
that's what
movies. You bring from
that's
Brazil. You bring
Yep.
in movies from
How many countries
here.
did he say we had?
He said
He
we
said
had
many.
Yeah,
Many.
I thought
Let's
it
go
was
with many.
36, but I think,
But no,
really
and
many.
I do agree with that, with the whole bringing that community. And one of the reasons why I like film festivals,
gotta fix
especially
my
the ones
cord.
like these that are like local, is I get to meet that Brazilian guy that is doing the same thing that I'm doing here.
Yes.
And he has that key little thing. I was like, so how were you able to get that shot? Oh, I just did this. Oh, yes. Well, maybe I could
So
trade that.
instantly, it's like global connectivity.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of the movie going experience, and again having the big picture, big sound, just immersive, and then again it's the people that you don't know that now you walk out.
You feel like you know.
Feel like
You've
'cause
experienced something with them.
And it's not just I experience watching the movie, I experience my emotions with them. And when you experience emotion together, that is a connection that, you just can't be like, because you watch something on Netflix, and again, I mean, I'm all about content on Netflix, but then you're talking about the movie.
Yes.
Or like, hey, I watched this. But did you really talk about how you connected with it? And hey, we were in this room and that did this to me. And that did. The other film that I think is the ultimate movie that you have to watch at a movie theater is A Quiet Place.
Yes.
Everybody
Yes.
you had to participate by shutting down.
So I was actually in an Alamo Draft House. We saw it together, I think, maybe.
Yep.
So we were actually in an Alamo Draft House, and I had food, and I felt like I couldn't eat.
You couldn't eat. Yes.
Couldn't eat.
Yes.
I couldn't eat because I was
Concession
like,
sales for that movie were through the floor.
And it was a movie that broke records.
Yes.
You know, for speaking roles, for the
but
most silent roles.
I felt like I couldn't eat because I was like, I don't want to ruin this
Yes.
for anyone else.
Well, not just
If
that.
they
I don't want to
hear
be
you,
killed.
they will
I don't want to
kill you.
be killed. Yeah, I don't want to be killed by those monsters.
Yes, I'm out.
Yeah.
I can't do anything.
I do
Monsters,
agree
I don't
with
even
that
know what
movie,
they look
yes.
like yet because they
Yes.
don't show you.
They don't
until,
show
like,
you, no.
halfway through, and you're like, but I'm
And
so
it
scared
is
of it.
that movie. You're right about that movie. That movie is an emotional roller coaster because
Yes.
you're feeling it with your people. You're
Come
feeling
on.
it.
Coming?
No, don't sit down, but you can walk right
So
through.
James is literally gonna run. So James
Oh,
Faust
there you go.
just ran right in front of the camera. Hopefully, we're gonna get him later.
But that movie,
He's also a big
when you talk about
head
connecting with
programmer here.
emotions, that movie brings, you're scared for a minute. Then you join this adventure with his family.
Yes.
And then you're like, I'm part of that family. And why don't I know sign language?
Yeah.
Right.
You get to the point, it's like, I want to know what they're saying.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, I have to read, but I
So-
want to participate even on a deeper level
You know
by
what's-
knowing sign language.
You know what's so great
Yes.
about that? I had the opportunity to sit down with a cast.
Okay.
And I found out that they all learn sign language.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and the young girl who plays the deaf child, she's actually deaf.
Yes, yeah.
She's actually deaf, which is cool because you don't see that happening often in films of people being cast with their natural, abilities. And so they were saying that she was teaching the cast
awesome.
how to sign so that they were communicating like that, not just while the film was going, but also they were
Matisse.
communicating when cameras stopped rolling, so
right,
that
I'm
they
gonna-
had a new connectivity.
We're gonna welcome in
Hello, hello.
Brandon Jones. Good to meet you.
Yes, I'm on the road, yes.
We go. This
Yeah,
is
come on,
Danielle.
have a seat over here. Hi, Danielle. Nice to meet you.
What can we get you?
Hi, we're live right now.
People are getting me water, so
Hi, how
I'm
are
fine.
you?
Yeah, that's it.
Beer, wine?
I'm trying
Oh,
not
be
to
careful, the
drink.
camera's right there.
Oh, well, don't try that.
Hard task.
So, guys, we are being joined right now by one of our filmmakers. Can you come sit over here so that we can get everybody? Yeah. Do you want a drink?
I'll have a water.
A water.
So, our sponsor, Crazy Water.
All right.
Okay. And we
my
have
kind
our
of water.
cameras right here and right here behind you. Camera right there. We are live here at DIF. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, I'm blessed to be here. It's a great platform, great opportunity. People have been extremely kind and generous.
Yeah, now we've got Jonathan.
Casual.
Hello.
We're just changing
Long
things
time
out
no
here.
see. We're just chatting in line.
Come on,
right?
we've got a whole
So-
group of people.
So, welcome.
Thank you.
This is our new little
It's our live lounge.
streaming live.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, can I get you something to drink?
Yeah, I would love something. Do you have a Four Corners?
Do you want an El Grito?
I would like an El
or a
Grito.
local buzz?
Four
Thank
Corners,
you.
one of our wonderful
Wait,
sponsors.
I have a Four Corners pen. You should have that. There you go.
Oh, we got it,
Thanks,
one.
brother.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cheers.
Cheers,
you
everybody.
drinking?
Cheers.
Water.
Water.
Crazy water.
It's crazy. Cheers, man.
Not any water.
Yeah, cheers, cheers. Crazy water, not
the
just any
whole
water.
can.
Wait, you've got,
Cheers.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Well,
All right.
that's so you can drink them faster, I think, isn't it?
So where are you coming in from?
São Paulo, Brazil.
Brazil. So we were just talking about you. I have to say we were just talking about you and how it's an amazing thing that there's film festivals like DIF allow for this global connectivity where people can actually come and engage with you as a filmmaker who is normally in Brazil or somewhere else in the globe.
Yes.
But like when you come to DIF, you actually have the ability to talk to filmmakers like you who are creating content and creating unique films that we don't normally necessarily get to see just at a regular movie theater, right?
Yeah.
It's a pretty cool experience here.
Yes. And it's, I mean, we were just talking about this. I have this great feeling of being here and being in Texas and knowing that a film about Beto O'Rourke will play here. You know, it's such his message really resonated. It was a crazy ray of sunlight, you know, in the midst of all this craziness, you know.
Yeah.
Because it's so important to see people that are on the ball and will voice out just reasonable opinions in key moments. You know, we need more young people to be connected to the moments. You know, and of course I want to be here and see all the films. Of course, it's really exciting program I'm in. People from the Philippines. I mean, all these countries that I connect so much with. You know, developing nations.
Yeah.
It's really they're always my boys, of course.
Yeah. So
Are there any films, are there any films that you're, besides your own, that you're really excited to see while you're here?
Beto O'Rourke's, yeah.
You're going to be like front and center?
Yeah.
That's right.
Yes.
No, we were talking about it too. I mean, it's, you know, I think it's one of the things we do really well at this festival is we support other filmmakers. We're filmmakers. I want to see these films, right? So I guess we're kind of selfish. So like, let's have a film festival so I can see films from 36 countries and bring guys like this in, right? But I think it is. I mean, I think your message is resonating. Your film as well, right? It's getting real where you guys are, and same thing here with guys like Beto, right?
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your film real
Before
quick.
we do that, can you intro both yourselves? Like we kind of briefly did, but there was a little bit of chaos there for a second.
Well, we had to get drinks.
I had a drink.
Oh, yeah.
You're in the festival, man. You go first.
Oh, gee. Well, I'm Matheus Parisi. I'm a filmmaker from Brazil. I was in theater before that.
You were a theater
Woo-hoo,
geek?
theater kids.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me three.
Oh my.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I like this. Yeah. It's always because theater also has this urgency. It's so ephemeral. So whatever you're doing, and sometimes it's such dire straits too. You know, rehearsing, and you want to talk about something that is important. I guess that translated or leaded into my filmmaking. I guess.
Yeah.
And I'm Jonathan Brownlee. I'm a filmmaker. Okay, I run the Dallas International Film Festival as well. But I have the longest title in the history of mankind, right? It's like the CEO and president of Dallas Film and the executive director of Dallas International Film Festival. Like, you actually have to take a breath in the middle of that.
I feel like I need a
It's
drink,
ridiculous.
like a drink break.
Drink.
Can we have an intermission in between that?
And by the way,
thank you.
Yes.
I mean,
Look, it's so dapper.
I
Look at
feel
this.
so underdressed.
Are you kidding me?
Oh my God.
look at this guy though. I mean, he's like
No, it's a different level. Yeah.
Look, I mean, we're in Dallas, Texas. I mean, Suit Supply does this. I've got cute clothiers. Like, look, these guys make great clothes. They can make me look good, right? So,
and trust me, I saw you before.
I know. It's like,
so like this is like another level.
I was 300 pounds. I was 300 pounds heavier. I don't know what
You put
happened.
a suit on and just changed.
Yeah.
Last night we were at dinner and like eating a lot and drinking a lot the
Maybe.
night before the festival, and Jonathan
Sort of.
literally says, "I'm wearing vertical stripes tomorrow.
I
I'm
was
gonna
like,
look slender." Like Jonathan is 300 pounds.
yeah, right.
Suits
It's like,
makes me look skinny.
let's suck it in. No, I mean that's the great thing. I mean, festivals are wonderful. We love doing this because we finally people are like, oh, you're filmmakers. You get to go like hang out with other filmmakers. We're busy making films and traveling, and so we actually get a chance to hang out and talk about films and filmmaking in different countries and what's important to us. And I think that's what we do all year round too at Dallas Film is we're trying to train, and I think film festivals are kind of they're the way to grow the next generation of filmmakers. Because if we don't do it, nobody else is going to do this. So I feel a great sense of responsibility to do that.
Yeah. Now you can ask your question.
Yes. Give us some background about your film, because your film has a message too, and it's really important. So thank you for sharing with our audience. And,
Thank you for showcasing it. It's born from two different roots. The first, it's a prequel to a feature length. So we were already developing it, and it's a feature length that talks about a very controversial court case in Brazil involving military that participated in torture sessions during the dictatorship, and theater and politics, so all that. But then we wanted to show how two of the leading characters met, and we used the short film to do that, and also articulate some of the aesthetics and the themes also, like theater, politics, and film. And then the other route was that the film contains fictional and non-fictional footage. The non-fictional footage was shot by me in protests, me going to protests with one of the leading actors.
Is that dangerous for you?
I mean, not at that time. No, nowadays it's getting very bad. Yeah, not at that time. It was back in beginning of 2015, so we could still do that kind of stuff. And yeah, well, we took over the assembly. That was interesting.
Really?
It was, yeah. You
Tell us
can
about
see
that
that.
day.
Yeah.
It was very moving. It was because they were trying to vote to pass cuts in the culture budget, and all these kids just flooded the assembly and were shouting and organized, and they managed to stop the voting in that day. Eventually, they managed to trickle down some of the cuts, but that day they couldn't do it. So it felt really, well, like a protest should be like. You know, that something really happens because of it. It's not just 1,000 people agreeing with each other out in the street, right? And one of the actors.
And the fact that you were physically there and not just. I mean, I love social media because it's an organizer, but a lot of people I think just go, oh, I'll join the protest on social media because I can hide behind this veil.
Right.
But you guys were actually physically there, like putting yourselves, using your time, and made a difference. I mean, I think that's really to be applauded.
You made a difference.
Made a
difference.
See
Hashtag
film differently.
And that's why. That's why we're here.
At the end of the day, anytime we can roll that plug. No.
It is.
So, I mean, congratulations. That's really.
Thank you.
And what a moving experience for you and your filmmaking team and the subjects in your movies. So.
Yeah, thank you for your words. It's they're really happy for me to be here and to be able to talk a little bit about Brazil too and how things are now, because just a couple weeks ago, the union's trial of accountancy admitted this edit that prevents the National Agency of Cinema to sign any new contracts. So all public funding was cut off by the extreme right government. You know, in order to, it's a real revenge against filmmakers because we've been so vocal against the values of this new administration.
Well, it also shows you how impactful
how
film
much power.
can be. And getting galvanizing people and also pushing out messages, you know, that are important. I mean, and again, that's what film does, and that's what going to the theater does, and that's what, you know, it brings messages and people together. I mean, I'm a film nerd, so I'm not a filmmaking nerd. I just like that you guys do it, so I can watch. Right?
That's right.
That's the most important part. People had to watch it, otherwise it didn't exist.
I'm gonna go pretend to work now. I gotta go.
Me too.
I know, right? Just hanging out. This is what you're supposed to be. I'll be back.
All right. Jonathan, thank you so much. Great job. So, jump in here, Chris, with where you are. And
so I have a question for you because I follow politics worldwide. And so your movie is about a protest? Is that what it was? Is that what I gather from all over here?
It's a couple of theater students that try to convince their colleagues to join this protest.
Okay.
Against the culture cuts in the culture budget.
And I don't know if this is part of the movie. Were you successful
in preventing the cuts?
Yeah.
Not really. I mean, by that time, when we shot it, they managed to hold it back a little bit. And they couldn't vote that day, so that was really key. One victory, one small victory. But then eventually we just underwent a 23% cut in the budget of all culture sectors. So museums, you know, libraries, huge, you know,
arts,
funding. So it's no, not really.
Now earlier we were talking about a movie that took 4 years to make.
Yeah.
How long did yours take to make?
Mine took a little while, I mean, because I shot the non-fictional part in 2015, and only in 2018 we concluded the fiction, the whole short, you know. So it was, but it was a bit of a. I shot that, and then it waited a little bit. It started. Sometimes films, I guess, they're kind of like a pearl. It's just 1 cent grain, and it goes into it, and then slowly becomes
the pressure. Yeah,
I guess so.
And you said students.
Yeah.
How many students?
And sometimes we have, I guess, 10, or we have an ensemble, and in each shot. Yeah, it was nice.
Well, in my world, you made it because you're here.
Oh my!
Yeah. So I don't know. What's next?
Well, this film is a prequel to a feature length, so we are going to the funding phase, and it's really crucial, very urgent film, even more controversial than this one. And we've got the first draft of the script already, so we're trying to roll that and get any international people that would like to see. You know, if they see the short, they will like if they like the short, they will like the feature length because it's pretty direct routes, the same protagonists and themes. That is one thing, and the other is I'm writing right now. After this, I'm going to LA to write a script for a feature-length version of another short. It was my first short that premiered in Venice in 2012. The Tuner is called. So I'm joining up with the executive producer of that short. We're writing that. And now I'm editing a film essay on theater for the International Theater Festival in São Paulo.
And then one thing, we're in America.
Yeah.
So for me, I don't know what he asked you how dangerous it was.
Yeah.
So making a film about protesting your government here, for me, it makes no sense because I could just go over there and be like, "What are you doing?" So when you're making a film like this, where you're kind of opening the blind of like, "Hey, this is what the government is doing." How difficult is it to get like blacklisted, what we call here, and all of a sudden you have no money and no resources? So how difficult is that for someone from Brazil?
Not very difficult.
Really?
Not very difficult. It's quite easy right now. Yeah, I mean, you can see what happened to Marighella, Wagner's film. It's and he's a famous actor. When he was playing a bad cop in more of a hard-ass cop in Elite Tropa de Elite, all the right-wingers loved him, and now they hate him. People don't want to distribute his film. I mean, God forbid. He premiered in Berlinale, so that was good. But even then, people were giving him negative voting on IMDb, and the film wasn't out yet. People hadn't seen it. It was purely ideological.
Just because of the topic?
Yeah. People are thinking that way in Brazil right now. So it's very divided country. That's one part of it. But it's a short film. It's mostly for the cinephiles, and we have this great chance to be here showing it for this great generosity. But so I don't fear that much for the feature length too, because it's more of an auteur film. But if it's more commercial, then it's hard. But even then, see what happened to Spike Lee.
Oh yeah.
And he's called a racist on Twitter. Yeah. And he's a big name.
Yeah.
So even here, and it's such an important film, and I find it so important the way it ends. KKKs, the end of it. It's not just like Inglourious Basterds, where you see Hitler dying on a movie theater.
Great movie, by the way.
Great movie.
Fantastic movie.
Great movie.
Great movie.
And then in KKK, you also have this fight against fascism, but it also connects the fiction to the non-fiction reality. Such a key film, and he got backlash for that, I guess.
Yeah.
We're live.
Yeah, come on in.
Join us. We just welcome.
Hey.
Hello.
What's up?
Come on in.
Join us. We're live, so.
We got more friends, guys.
We got more
Live
friends.
too.
Right.
Can you pour me some more wine?
Yes.
Does anyone need a drink? Beer, wine? That's what we do here. We drink and we
It's all
talk.
live.
It's all live.
we are live
We got some
right
cameras
here.
right here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
We're going
I
live.
feel
Back
about
and
that.
forth. Yeah.
We were just talking.
Anyone want a beer? Anyone want
beer?
some wine?
Even a water?
Water?
Yeah, sure, water. Yeah.
Water?
Yeah, that's good, yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
It's crazy water.
Already wasted.
Bentley.
I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm good.
but this is
Okay.
crazy
You've had
water.
enough
Crazy
beer?
water?
So yeah,
Out of
It's
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 out of
not gonna
It's
happen.
out of control.
It's not gonna help you.
How quick
So
till I get out
guys,
of control?
please, for our audiences watching, and I think this is the camera that's on right now.
We're on both.
Please.
We're on
Well,
both.
this one's green.
It doesn't matter. We're on
It doesn't
both.
matter. They're both. Okay. So
You
just
pick your stream.
look at a camera and introduce yourself.
Either one.
Oh, I have a camera. Hi. Bentley Brown. I'm running guest services for the festival, and also have a film in the festival called A Film Crew Censors Itself.
A film crew censors itself. What's that about?
It is about a film crew making a film in Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
It's-
it's subtitled?
It's all censored.
It's all censored, yeah.
So there's no information. No, it is subtitled. And it's censored too.
So what inspired you to make this film?
Well, there's this really interesting dichotomy between people who are looking to express and work in filmmaking, and then the idea that society doesn't accept the way in which they do that. So there's right now Saudi Arabia has a very exciting movement to make films into open cinemas. At the same time, there's still some laws that actually govern mixed gender environments, such as this right here, would be illegal. Not
way
the
to
least
go.
of which because of the.
Thank you for that.
I guess.
It's the crazy water.
It's the crazy water.
So I think it's a really interesting moment, actually.
And give us, you're involved with the film festival, so talk about your involvement with DIF and how long you've been involved with DIF.
Yeah, well, I've worked with DIF for a few years now, always in filmmaker services, so helping to bring in filmmakers such as this lovely person here. Maybe there's other lovely filmmakers.
You're the best.
No, I'm the bad guy.
Chris,
I'm the bad guy.
he's with the Blaze.
Press are good guys.
Danielle's Press. So we got some filmmakers.
Yeah.
And Adam, tell us a little bit about why you're here and what
Sure.
you do. And
Well, I'm here with Studio Movie Girl, so Studio Movie
a
Girl.
sponsor
That's
of
right.
the film festival, which we are very appreciative of.
Good,
Yeah.
good, proud
By the way,
sponsor.
great theaters.
Yes, thank
Awesome
you.
food.
Thank you. Yeah. No, it's a
I have to put that in there.
that's great. I mean, we try to give a great experience, and
And that's what we were talking about earlier. It's
Great
like
experience.
experiences
That's right.
that we didn't have before. Like Adam, with the research ticket. No, you bring me my food. I don't have to go anywhere.
That's right.
You bring me my what's that called? The chocolate.
The frozen chocolate, frozen hot chocolate.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which
Oh,
is
yeah.
fascinating. You bring me my
Said chocolate, and I knew.
So you said you've been to
He's like-
theater dining.
Great.
No.
Where they bring you your
That's
whole
right. That's
meal
what it's
right
about.
to your
Oh,
I would feel
you
like
have
a
to.
Roman.
enjoying having time with your
I would
family.
feel like a Roman.
And the Studio Movie Girl exists to open hearts and minds one story at a time, right? That's storytelling is really important.
So I want to say that one more time because
Yes.
it was kind of lost in
Yes.
two different conversations. So one of the pillars and tenets of Studio Movie Girl is opening hearts and minds one story at a time.
Right.
And basically, for a filmmaker and for audience members, what that is we basically exist to allow filmmakers to meet with moviegoers to share stories so that you create this connectivity that changes and opens hearts. So with yours being very political and trying to create a movement, not necessarily a movement, but trying to create action.
Within
Create
each
action
person.
with that and share knowledge there. And then you also trying to create awareness and connectivity between film goers and the people who are experiencing what your film's about. That's kind of why Studio Movie Girl exists, right?
Exactly. I mean, it shifts perspectives.
Yep.
And it can lighten up the world too, bringing laughter. I think that laughter is transformative too.
Yeah.
So, making life.
Absolutely.
And just to set the scene a little bit, I mean, the West Village is now filling up. We've got the red carpet going on. The opening night film here starts in about 30 minutes. We've got a full red carpet and press. We've got filmmakers joining us. The stage will be going on later tonight. So this is really turning into a pretty cool scene. I mean, this is your first time here and your first time here?
No, I've been to DIF before,
Okay,
and
good.
I love it. I mean, come every year. It's great. It's a great time.
So now that we have a mix, we've got sponsors, we've got diff people, we've got press, we've got filmmakers.
I mean, this is what
I kind of want to talk about the art of movie going. Because we were talking earlier, because tonight's film is a Netflix film, which I love Netflix. Netflix serves its purpose. I love it. But we were talking about what makes movie going different when you experience it in the theater. Like, why is that such a magical experience versus just watching something on your TV or on your phone?
Wow, it's collective. For instance, the KKK film, I watched it in Havana, in Cuba.
The Black Klansman?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
And like,
I thought it was the Spike Lee film, but you said it's the KKK film.
Right.
it is the Spike Lee.
Yeah.
It was directed. It was produced by Spike Lee, not the KKK. So
It's a Spike Lee joint. Let's make
yeah.
Production
Thank
credit,
you.
Right. Yeah.
Thank you for saving me. And it was like at least 80% of the audience was black. You know, African Americans. Yeah. And that was really moving.
Yeah.
The way people were reacting and punching each other and shouting and cheering. It was, you got to go to a movie theater to see that. I mean, the collective experience of watching something together.
And you're a theater person, so you're waiting to get that interaction. And even though you're not on stage, but you get that, you still get the interaction from the crowd and the response from the crowd, even though it's on the screen versus being live. So, I mean, that's important.
In our short, there's a moment where they're in the assembly and they're rebelling, and it's just two audiences because it's an audience shape, the assembly. And so it's two audiences staring at each other, you know. And when you have that during a screening, you can see what that does to people too. I guess,
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah.
What about your thoughts?
I really enjoy the quality that a theater can bring. So in terms of sound and image, affordances that you wouldn't necessarily have at home. That's where I think moviegoing is special, and essentially every filmmaker is making that film with that final cinematic distribution in mind. So,
Yeah, I think that collective experience is special. You know, most people don't have that many people in their bedrooms watching Netflix. It's a little weird. You know, maybe they do. I'm not one to judge.
Right.
But you know, that's
You do you.
Watch
you do you. That's it. You know, I do me maybe. So you guys are welcome over to my room. So I mean, that it's totally different, right? When you do see, you can laugh with people. I love what you said. You see the reaction and the emotion and that energy, just like we're having right now. You know, sharing. That's what face to face will never be replaced, really. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Very cool. So we want you guys to enjoy the festival. I don't know how much time you have. What time are you? You're on.
I'm until the 15th.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yes.
Yeah, you're gonna be here a while then.
Yeah.
Really take it all in.
What movies are you going to see while you're here?
You're gonna see Beto.
No, Beto. Yeah, I gotta go through the list. I mean, it's too many people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a full 8 days for you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Awesome.
What about, you're gonna be
You
here the whole
guys-
time.
I actually leave tomorrow.
No, you don't. You're here the whole time. All right. Yeah.
Thank
so
you guys
Yeah,
so
thank
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's
Thank
really
you.
great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it was really great meeting you. I can't wait to see your movie.
great to see you.
Oh, I do that every time I do interviews.
We're still live.
Thank you.
So all this is
See you in the office. The most epic
so nice.
handshake
Thank you
we've
for
ever
spending
seen.
time with us.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll just meet up with Mikey.
Yeah, we're gonna adjust our set a little bit here.
Get some adjustments going on here. We've got some more guests before we start. Come on over to our lounge. See, you come prepared. We have drinks, but he brought his own. Yes, that's what we're doing here.
Okay, good.
Come on in.
Are you sure?
Come on, Maureen.
I'm just taking care of Jason.
I know, but taking care of it is sitting here. No?
Thank you, though.
Oh,
All right.
So this is our little
good
lounge.
setup.
We're live.
Little
Are we
lounge
really?
party.
Cool.
We're live.
Live where?
We are on
All over the place.
our Facebook. We are on our
Website.
website. If you have your social media,
do.
you can go on our Facebook.
Actually, I'm going to
yours.
do that too. So I'm going to go to the Dallas International Film Festival.
Let's just
And
let's share with people.
Yeah,
I don't know what.
because I was trying to do it earlier and we had a little tech hiccup, but they said it's up in my now. So I'm going to go and I'm going to share it.
Go
Let's
share.
see here.
Thought Culture is streaming it on theirs. So we have.
Oh my goodness,
Okay,
we're
so
here.
how do I do this? So I'm
We're
in.
here. Go to the Dallas
Facebook.
International Film Festival.
We search.
We do search, yeah. Search
All right, we
there.
can search.
We're live. Okay.
I might
Oh,
look
nice.
young, but this is still. Or do I need to spell it out? Probably Dallas International.
Yeah, there's a lot of spelling. Film festival.
There we are.
I think you click
Is
on.
that it? Looks
That
like
She's
was
the
not
social
it.
media person.
I'm not signing up.
No, you don't want to sign up.
Are we
There it
live?
is. I don't
Passes.
know. No, I don't know.
Share
Oh, here we
now.
are.
There we
Share.
are.
Share.
Oh, I love it.
And then share now.
Let me share to a page.
Here we go.
Share to.
Love it. Okay.
There we go. Oh my
Good
God, we got Jason
stuff.
Castro here. He's sharing
We're
it.
live.
We're live here at DIP.
There we go.
So, what night are you going to be performing? Is it tonight?
Yes.
Tonight.
Is it tonight, right after our premiere film?
That's correct. I think on the calendar it says 9 o'clock maybe.
Ish.
9 o'clock-ish.
Not sure, something like
Ish.
that.
Yeah. So give us a little bit about your background. We obviously know who you are, but for all of our lovely people watching,
Yeah, so I was on the 7th season of American Idol. That was in 2008, a long time ago. And I had really long dreadlocks. You wouldn't recognize me, but I was the first contestant to play an instrument on the show. You might remember Hallelujah or Somewhere Over the Rainbow on the ukulele. So I've been touring for the last 10 years now. Oh my gosh, it's 10 years. Had a #1 single in Norway, the Philippines.
There you go.
Singapore, yeah. So here we are, back in Dallas, where it all started.
There you go.
You're from here, right?
Yeah.
Where'd you grow up? Where'd you go to high school?
So I grew up just east of here in Rowlett, Texas, about 20 minutes down 30, and currently live here in Dallas. Love the city.
Yeah, and you kind of made an homage to the city with one of your songs.
We did. So that's our most recent release, Forever Texas, was kind of a tribute to Dallas, and it's been dubbed the official theme song of Dallas.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, it's been really
cool. You
cool.
have the official theme song of Dallas.
It's a lot of fun. Yeah.
So what do you know? Do you know a lot about DIFF, the Dallas International Film Festival, and participating in
I've
it?
seen, I've never been, it's my first time, but I've had a lot of friends in the film industry that I've kind of seen over the years make appearances here, and I'm kind of the type of guy, I don't go anywhere unless I'm invited, so glad I got the invite.
You're invited here.
Yeah.
Are you going to be staying to watch any films while you're here?
I hope so. I mean, I literally just showed up and I got an address and a time. Yeah. So I'm here now, and I'm up for whatever. So hopefully we see some good films.
You're already enjoying a beer?
Got some local brews.
Yeah.
Local buzz.
Local all the way, guys.
We got local beer. We got a local musician that's had a #1 hit in Norway.
Got this lovely wine that I've been drinking all...
Where's this from?
This is from, it's a local.
Okay,
so
it's in Texas.
So listen to the story behind the wine. The guy who has opened that winery that just opened, he was a detective in South Dallas like 20 years ago, and he solved this serial killer case.
Really?
And Jonathan Brownlee, our executive director, is producing a film based on his story.
Wow.
Yeah. So
it always goes back to film.
What a story.
Right. Always.
Yeah.
It's so literally, and he was like the eyeball killer. He like gouged your eyeballs out.
I've never even heard of this.
Yes, look
I'm
it
glad
up.
they need to film that.
Google.
I didn't know about this.
Yeah.
Google it for sure.
That's crazy. Really.
So like movies and
music,
yeah.
I mean, there's always that connection, right?
Do you want to provide the music for a movie ever? Like,
I would love to. It's really, it seems like a daunting task. It's very different than, the creative process for making an album. We're all just you get in a room and you write something you feel and you're going. But, I love the idea of having the feeling already there and how do we capture that in song. But it's a different pace, it's a different pace than touring and music, writing your own songs. So I would love to do that someday.
So when you tour, do you watch a lot of movies?
Not really. I work too much.
What kind of movies do you like?
Okay, so my favorite types of movies. Well, I love any good story.
Yep.
And suspense.
Yes.
So a good story, if you got some suspense in there, it doesn't have to be, scary. I don't like gory necessarily, but I'll do it if it's a good story.
Like I don't like horror, but like psychological and thrillers and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I'm really into just a good story. It's funny because I'll never watch a comedy.
No?
Really?
No, I just can't do it.
Comedy's like a hard. It's been a genre that hasn't. It's gone down in a while.
No, but all my friends, all they do is watch funny shows.
Yeah, funny shows, but funny movies.
Well, but I can't even watch funny shows. I'm like, I don't have time for that. I need a good story. It's
okay.
just, I don't know. It's just in me.
What's your favorite film of all time?
I don't have favorites.
That's my answer too. So.
I don't have favorites. And fun fact, I never watch a movie more than once. It's kind of weird.
I really don't
weird.
either. I don't like.
Oh no, I do.
If I've seen it, I don't want to. I like it, and I go into it not assuming anything. I don't try to figure it out. My wife's always like figuring out the plot before we're 10 minutes in. I just go at it open, and I want to experience it.
The film that I'm most excited to see coming up is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yes,
the next
new Tarantino
film. So that is story.
Yes.
He's a story-driven director, and this is his 9th film. He said he's only going to do 10, and so he's got one somewhere baking in the back of his mind for that. So that comes out in August, so that's going to be really cool.
That is going to be cool.
Yeah. So that's the film I'm most looking forward to, I think, coming out.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's like the stories,
Yeah.
I like that kind of story stuff.
Yeah.
So going back to music, because you're going to be performing tonight, can you give us an idea as to which songs you're going to perform tonight?
Well, that's a pretty easy one because my latest project is with my brother, and so we don't have much out. It's just the two of us. So we'll be playing all those songs off our latest EP, Diamond Dreams.
Okay.
And yeah,
And where can we find this? iTunes,
so yeah, you can find
down
iTunes,
to
Spotify, everywhere that
we gotta
you
plug you while you're
do
here.
that. And
Yeah.
I mean, I've already shared it on Facebook, so you should have my Facebook connection.
Yep.
Right.
But yeah, Castro the band on all socials, and Jason Castro Music. If you want to follow just me, but I'm kind of boring. I'm not
Apparently
really
you
good
stay
at
at home a
social
lot and
media.
don't watch a lot of movies. So
Exactly.
you just play a lot of music. You're always worried.
I love
What other
it.
kind of stuff do you do? I mean, you're producing music
Well, yeah,
all the time,
doing music,
writing.
and you know, I mean, I also run a small real estate team here in town.
Oh, very
so
cool.
that's the other thing I do while I'm in town. We got a team of agents, and we service people in Dallas and town areas, and
Oh, cool.
some rehabs and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, that's awesome.
Well, Dallas is a good market for that.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of fell into it. It's been good to me.
There you go.
Yeah,
That's good.
took all that music money and put it in real estate. Tip of the
Let
day.
your.
Hi there.
Oh, we're gonna have another
We've
person
got more
join
guests,
us.
guys.
All right, joining or do I step out? Am I-
Either way, if you want to
Hang?
step out, you
Okay.
can. If you want to stay, you absolutely can.
Got nowhere to go.
Hi, Danielle.
Hey, how are y'all? Jason Castro. Nice to meet you.
Hi.
Very nice to meet
Nice
you.
to meet
He has
you.
a short film
Yes.
playing tonight, and that film is. Yes. So tell
What's
our
it called?
audience-
Yeah, tell us.
Oh, microphone.
Yeah, we're live.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, Yurga's a short film. Oh, camera. Microphone.
They're watching you.
We're live. We're live right
We've got
now.
multiple cameras, and we're also covering the red carpet. So we've got like a whole multi-stream going here.
Y'all are busy.
Oh yeah.
And this is Jason Castro. He's playing tonight.
I'm just
I'll be
hanging
right
out here,
back.
pesky musician, just floating around.
Nice.
Yeah, and
I
he's
like
going to be
your
on
hat.
stage right behind us here tonight after
Yep.
the opening party, so you guys can watch him perform live tonight.
Nice.
So give us a little bit about your film and your relationship here at the festival.
I like this jacket.
I like your shoes.
I know. Good
That's
to
a
see
problem
you.
that I apparently have.
Yeah, so we get to watch her and deal with that reality and in the context of her culture and her identity. And, yeah.
Yeah. Cool. We're going to step out with Jason. Thank you so much.
I didn't want to take away. Thanks for watching, guys.
Appreciate you, man. We'll see you tonight.
Yeah.
Very good. So, Danielle, just step back in. We're live.
Yeah, my
so-
sister's right over there. My
All of
sister,
this
she was
is
like
happening
waving at me
all
like,
the time.
where do I go? And I'm like, it's a film festival. Walk around. It's great. Yeah. So I want to talk about your film a little bit more. I don't know what you guys just talked about.
She just jumped into about the film and
Can you share that with me as well? Because I do our social, so I've gotten some snippets and I'm a little familiar with it. But we've been kind of talking about like breaking down the behind the scenes of why independent film's important, not just features but shorts as well, and the kind of connectivity that happens when you come to a festival and you engage with the topics that some of these shorts discuss and things like that. So I'd love to dive into that with your short.
Yeah, so I was telling them that it's basically about a young woman who runs out of hair in the process of getting braids, and then we just kind of get to watch what happens as a result of that, and it kind of plays out in the context of her culture and her identity as well.
Yeah. Now, say that last part one more time because I think I heard you correct, but I'm not sure. Culture versus identity?
Culture and identity.
Culture and identity.
Yeah.
You know, I kind of want to dive into that a little bit more because we're getting to see a lot more diversity on screen now in mainstream Hollywood, which I absolutely love. But it's been there for a long time in independent film, right? Like there are a lot of really talented filmmakers sharing cultural stories, sharing just stories that all of us as human beings experience. And we just haven't really been exposed to a lot of them because they live in this independent space. How has technology and new platforms like social media and the Netflixes of the world and independent film festivals, how has that influenced content creators like yourself?
Hugely. The first series we did, Beth has been making short films for a little while, and we collaborated on a series called We Are, and we used that as leverage to kind of do other things. But the reason that it was successful was because we were able to connect with people like Issa Rae, who also got their start on YouTube and grew from social media. So
yeah,
she's
coming up in Little, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we just saw her at CinemaCon.
Yeah. So the series was added to their YouTube channel, and it allowed us to get a ton of viewers and way more exposure than we would have gotten on our own. So it's a prime example of her coming up independently and then using her platform to help other young filmmakers. So we are a testament to that, definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and also with the changes and advances in technology, it just helps with accessibility. Like, if I was trying to make a movie like 30, 40 years ago, and I'm like thinking I have to get a hold of film and all that, developing it, and that would have been a much different process. So the idea that I could literally just pick up my iPhone and film something, which is what I did for my first short, I shot it on my iPhone. I think that makes it a lot more like, feels like it's accessible and tangible and possible.
I love that you just said that, because from my experience talking to filmmakers, talking to actors, you know, and talking to audiences, a lot of people have this misconception that when it comes to filmmaking, like, you have to have the equipment, you have to have the lighting, you have to have all these things, but like, you can literally make a film with an iPhone, right?
Absolutely.
It's as long as you have a story to tell or you have something to say, you can create a film.
Exactly. And if anything, you're just getting practice. Like, if you're worried that it's not going to look the best, which it might not necessarily, but at least now you know, like, now you've gotten your feet wet. You know what I mean? You've tried it. You've done something.
Yeah.
And I used to feel like I wasn't ready, and I always tell people, like, you're never going to be ready to do anything. You just got to do it. You just got to trust yourself. You have what you need, and just make something happen.
Yeah. So if you could talk to a young like a group of young filmmakers, we're actually doing high school roundtables later during this festival, because we really think that it's important for youth to be engaged with film and filmmakers in the cities they're in. If you could give them any advice, when somebody's like thinking, like, I kind of want to be a filmmaker, but I just don't know that I can do it, what would you say to them?
I would say dive in. Just do it. Just go for it. And
just share your story.
Yeah, just tell your story however you can and with whatever is in your reach. And once you start moving, things will start coming towards you. You know what I mean? Just start moving and see what happens, and network laterally. Find people who are like you, who want to tell similar stories. Me and Tamar met at a networking event, so I would just say meet folks, meet like-minded people, and just do it.
And that's kind of what the film festival does too. Like, helps you make connections, shares your story. We have 36 countries we're representing here at this film festival, so it brings a lot of people together.
Yeah.
We really appreciate you guys being here. It's very nice for you to share your time with us.
When are your films playing?
Tonight at 8 p.m. and Sunday at 3 p.m. in the Narrative Shorts 1 block.
Awesome.
Narrative Shorts block, it's a great opportunity to experience all kinds of films. If you were with us earlier, Daniel was talking about how he curated the Narrative Shorts block and how they fit together. There's a real pattern to how he did that. So congratulations on being here. We are 8 minutes away from opening night film. And so we're gonna pull this down and
wrap it up a little bit.
Wrap up a little bit. So thank you so much.
Thank you. And guys, like, go and book your seats ahead of time through Atom Tickets for the Narrative Shorts, because we've been selling out. We've been like selling out and completely booking our theaters. So please make sure that you get your tickets ahead of time and reserve those seats through Atom Tickets this year, so that you can actually see see the films, right? Yeah.
Thank you guys.
Thank you guys.
Have a wonderful time at the festival. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Nice to meet you. Okay, guys. We're wrapping things up.
I have no idea how this went, but I think it went okay.
This is our first time doing this. This is our first time using this technology. I think we
Yeah, how about a huge shout out to our partners and our sponsors at Thought Culture and On Air Media for making this whole thing possible. I mean, multi-streaming is not it's
not easy.
Not easy, but we've got some really talented people behind the scenes that made this possible. Great technology. We thank our guys at Thought Culture and On Air Media. And we'll be here almost every night of the festival.
Covering the red carpets and stuff.
So we're going to miss you tomorrow and Saturday.
I won't be here tomorrow and Saturday. I have to head to LA. I've got some interviews out in LA.
But I will be here taking over for 2 nights, and then I will be done. So. All right, so we're going to wrap.
Go check out tonight's opening night film. If you have not gotten your passes yet, there's still time. Go to DallasIF.org. Grab your passes. You can also get individual tickets for films that you really want to see. But we think there are so many films that you really should see that you should get a pass. And then you can go to Atom Tickets. You can download the app on your phone, and you can go ahead and reserve the seats that you want ahead of time instead of having to wait in line for the festival. But do it quick because we are booking out. We are selling out.
We're selling out. So
yeah.
Have a great festival. Thank you so much.
Have a good night, guys.
Signing off.